US President Donald Trump says talks between Israel and Lebanon are set to take place on Thursday. In a post on Truth Social, Trump wrote, "Trying to get a little breathing room between Israel and Lebanon. It's been a long time since the two leaders have spoken, like 34 years. It will happen tomorrow." He did not specify who would be taking part. The announcement follows rare direct talks between Lebanon and Israel earlier in the week in Washington. The first time in more than 3 decades. Those discussions focused on efforts to address Hezbollah's role in the conflict. Now, Mohamad Elmasry is a political analyst and professor of media studies at the Doha Institute for Graduate Studies. He joins me live here in the studio. Once again, I'm not going to get you to interpret what Donald Trump actually means, but there's a lot of surprise in Lebanon that these two leaders might actually be speaking. It doesn't specify which particular leaders, but it's unlikely that that would happen, given the circumstances, right?
Well, I mean, the context is really important here. Israel has been decimating Lebanon. They have every intention, if we're to believe their words and also look at their actions, of taking over that area south of the Litani River. That's a pretty significant chunk, 10 to 14% of Lebanese territory. They've killed a couple thousand people, displaced more than 1 million, as you all have been reporting. Associated Press is now reporting that they've been using the same policy that they were using in Gaza, this Where's Daddy program, which is a very disturbing title, but they wait for Hezbollah members to come home at night, and then they strike them while they are sleeping with their families. They kill their wives, their children, extended family, and so on and so forth. In that context, Israel is basically asking the Lebanese leadership to surrender. And this, I don't think, is going to go over very well with the Lebanese people. And I also don't think it's going to lead to any sort of a permanent resolution or peace. It, by all accounts, will be simply a temporary ceasefire, and even ceasefires that are supposed to be lasting ceasefires, Israel violates. So I think we're still in a very tenuous situation.
I mean, the best case scenario that we can hope for, given what you've just said then, is a ceasefire that lasts as long as the Iran ceasefire does. And then Israel just simply waiting and seeing what happens with the Iranian ceasefire before they decide what they're going to do next?
I think Israel's already decided what it's going to do in terms of Lebanon. I mean, to start with, I mean, at a minimum, they want to take over all of that land south of the Litani River. They're calling it a security zone or a buffer zone, but this is part of the greater Israel project. I mean, it's very clear. I mean, all you have to do is listen to the Israeli leaders. They want to expand their borders, and that is a start. So I think their intentions are clear, and I don't think any of it is good news for the Lebanese people, even those Lebanese who are opposed to Hezbollah, and certainly there are Lebanese who are opposed to Hezbollah.
Let's bring in Zaina Khodr here. She's live for us in Beirut. Zaina, has this come as a surprise to the Lebanese people? I mean, and never mind Lebanese people, what about the Lebanese political establishment?
A very controversial tweet. In fact, an official source has told me that we don't have any information. That source did not confirm or deny. The words used was, we don't have information. So Trump's tweet talking about leaders talking to each other, communicating, possibly a phone conversation for the first time in 34 years. This is a very, very divisive issue in Lebanon. The very fact that the Lebanese government even decided to open talks with Israel, direct talks, face-to-face talks, especially at a time when Israel is continuing to attack the country. Now, he also mentions giving Lebanon and Israel breathing space. Could that suggest a ceasefire, that a ceasefire will be announced? We know that the United States has been pushing for a ceasefire on the Lebanon front for more than one reason. It wants to push forward the Lebanon-Israel track. It wants this track to succeed, simply because it wants to ensure that the Lebanon-Iran fronts are separated. They are de-linked. They want to make sure that Hezbollah's influence is weakened over Lebanon, that Iran's influence over Lebanon is weakened. Israel, the Israeli ambassador, the words he used yesterday, us, we, together, after those talks were held, almost really describing the Lebanese government as a party, and that really stirred a lot of controversy in the country. While, yes, there are people in Lebanon who are ready for peace, people in Lebanon who just want these wars to end and the state to reclaim sovereignty, but there are others who do not trust Israel, who believe that Israel's intentions, it will never leave southern Lebanon. It will continue to stay there, create a buffer zone, not allow people to return. And they believe the Lebanese government is giving free concessions and doesn't have enough leverage to impose its conditions on Israel. So the Lebanese official source telling me no information about the possibility of talks, even the possibility of a second round of meeting between Israel and Lebanese ambassadors in Washington. But of course, this could change in the coming hours.
Zaina, stay there, because I want to go back to Mohamad Elmasry, who's in the studio for us at the moment. Zaina there was talking about the Israelis wanting a security zone, a buffer zone. But at what point does a buffer zone, a security zone, become just a land grab? Because we've seen this in Gaza before as well. We've also seen it in Syria, in the Golan Heights.
The answer is as soon as possible. That is the Israeli intention. It's clear. I don't think there's enough appreciation for this idea of Greater Israel and how mainstream it is in Israeli society, and especially among the political leaders. You even have opposition leader like Yair Lapid, who is more centrist. He's not a right winger. He's certainly not on the quote unquote far right. He just said 3 weeks ago that Israel's borders are based on the Bible. That includes not just the south of the Litani River, but it includes all of Lebanon and other territories and countries in the region. So I think this is very serious. One of the things that I think is interesting and that is perhaps not getting enough play is that Israel is calling on the Lebanese state to disarm Hezbollah. This is something, first of all, that Israel itself is not able to do. It's very complicated. And let's not forget that Israel has worked with the United States systematically over the course of many years to ensure that the Lebanese state is weak, that it is not weaponized. This is to give Israel its quote-unquote qualitative military edge, which the U.S. and Israel are both committed to. So if the Lebanese state is weak, if the Lebanese military is weak, how can they do something that Israel itself is not able to do?
Well, let's go back to Zaina now, who's live for us in Beirut. Zaina, this idea of the Israelis having a security zone, a buffer zone, we normally see the Israelis really push through into different territories just before a ceasefire announcement is made in order to cement the territory that they've already got. Do you think that the Lebanese are fearful that that's actually what's happening right now?
Well, especially if you talk to people who live in those areas, people from southern Lebanon, they don't trust Israel. This is not the first confrontation between Hezbollah and Israel. There have been numerous wars in the past decades, and they don't trust their intentions. And even after that ceasefire in late 2024, Israel was supposed to withdraw from Lebanese territory. It did not. It created and established 5 hilltop positions within Lebanese territory along the border. And the argument by Hezbollah is the Lebanese government was not able to get even a goodwill gesture on the part of the Israeli government to withdraw from at least one of those positions, to make people feel that, yes, one day they will return. There were many attempts to rebuild in the south of the country. Excavators, any attempt to rebuild came under attack. So people here feel that they will not be able to return to their homes. Before this latest conflict, we have to remember tens of thousands, 90,000 people did not return to their homes in those frontline villages. Aita Shab, Khiam, Farkilla, Adesi, and I can, name them all. People never returned. And this new conflict, this new confrontation displaced even more people. And we are seeing the Israeli government or the Israeli military push ahead with that ground invasion. But again, taking territory in the south of the country is not going to disarm Hezbollah. They need a partner on the ground, and that's why the U.S. and Israel are engaging with the state. The biggest question is, can the state do this without risking internal strife? The army commander is coming under a lot of criticism by those, in the anti-Hezbollah camp because he's refusing to take a step against Hezbollah. So the situation is very delicate. The internal tensions in this country are dangerous.
Zaina Khudr there live for us in Beirut. Thank you.